I ain't got no time. 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 I ain't got no. Grown man, how I'm moving with the rock. Y'all swine, how you moving with the ops. Self-made hobby up in the shop. Stay paid, I don't care about the props. Praise God, change ways. Never been.
Welcome back, everybody. What is happening? My name is Brandon Osborne, aka Control for Days. Here at Dr. Yawg's Clinic, we take you through matches with the deck Black-Green Yawgmoth in Modern. I am jumping into a Modern League match. I don't know what I'm playing against, but if you watched the intro to this video or happen to click on the video because of the thumbnail, you're already well aware of what we're playing against. Opening 7. We have 2 Yawgmoth, an Evolution, and some lands. This hand does not really do anything, so we are shipping it back. And we're on the draw this game as well. Second 7, still not great, especially if our opponent has some discard, but it functions, so we're going to keep it in the blind. And I think we're going to send back the Sideboard. I think our mana is pretty good, so having the Misty Rainforest affords us the ability to get Dryad Arbor if we want it as well. So I think Urborg is the card to go. The Misty's probably going to get Overgrown Tomb, but could get Dryad Arbor. Welding Jar. So right off the bat, you're thinking some sort of affinity deck. If they're absolutely crazy, could be, what was that deck? Lantern of Insight was also a deck that ran Welding Jar. And this is looking like some sort of Scales variation based on the Brushland. So Scales plays out very similar to Affinity, assuming that's what this is. That was a really good draw. Really, really good draw. Oh, and we have the Besaju as well, which is really strong. We're going to shock and play out the bird. Yeah, so Scales is going to play out a lot like Affinity in that they're trying to put a quick clock on us with artifact creatures, and we're just going to try to get a quick Yawgmoth into play game 1 and just start mowing down their board state. Let's see. So Welding Jar regenerates an artifact. Besaju is going to be super strong here. Alright, so he's got a 2/2. We're going to knock out the Hardened Scales, I think, by channeling the Besaju. I think that's the line. Maybe? I don't want things to get too out of control. So they're short on mana for the Saga to activate it, but they have 2 cards in hand and a draw step, so I'm assuming they're going to hit their 3rd land. So there's a ton of options here. We could go double Hierarch, which doesn't really accomplish anything. We can go Geist Hierarch, which gives us at least a blocker. And would afford us the ability to Evolution next turn and Besaju if we wanted to. I think that's the most efficient use of our mana, so I think that's where we're going this turn. And our hope is to have a Yawgmoth in play next turn. And we're going to leave Geist back as a blocker. I don't think I'm going to block with it, but if we're in a pinch and we absolutely need to, we'll have it there to do that. So we will see how this pans out. And our hope is next turn we get to Evolution, and then we'll have an extra mana to channel Besaju, because the cost is going to be 1 less with Yawgmoth in play. Alright, they're casting and Ancient Stirrings. So this is another deck that used to run Luris that is no longer able to do so. I've seen this thing before. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, put a 1/1 counter on it. It's pretty good. Alright, so they're not activating their Saga, and they can't actually do anything with the Automaton right now. So unfortunately for them, I think they're in trouble this turn. Alright, so our play here. So we got two choices. We could prevent them from drawing a card with the Sentinel, pay for it, and then start mowing things down. But we don't get to leave up the Boseiju that way, so I don't think we're going to do that. So I think we're going to let them draw a card here. Oh, that's a revealed card. I was confused. I was like, why is that a trigger on the stack? That has nothing to do with anything. Okay. Yawgmoth is in play. The end boss. We're going to pay a life. We're going to start chipping away here at their board state. If they have a Pithing Needle in their main deck, that could be problematic. I'm hoping they don't. I'm going to add a green. That was a mistake. I actually don't think we're at risk for dying here. This might be famous last words, but I think I'm actually going to play out the Boseiju. Boseiju, Wall of Roots, Ignoble. And then we can Chord. This might be a mistake. We'll see how this pans out. We can Chord during their turn. Get a Yawgmoth. And then kill them on our turn. So if we get another turn, we should win here. We're at 13 life. Let's see how this plays out. They have the Saga in play. Fingers crossed there's no Pithing Needle in their deck. They're adding a mana. Another Zabaz. Alright, and we can't pay the ward cost. Let's see what happens. This thing doesn't have flying, so we got a 5/5. See if we die. A little sketchy. This thing's getting pretty big. They don't have a way to give this trample, do they? I think so. I think we're fine here. Okay, I think we should have the win on our turn. From my experience, this has been a very favorable matchup. I don't think I've actually lost it up to this point. So, with that being said, yeah, they see the Blood Artist and they scoop. The writing is on the wall. I think this is a good opportunity to bring in Hapatra here. Is it Ms. Hapatra? I don't want to misspeak, but I believe that makes sense. And then we're going to bring in our artifact package above and beyond that. And I think post-board, as is usually the case with these decks that run a lot of artifacts, our situation gets a little bit better. Game plan here is get a quick Yawgmoth into play. We're going to cut a Chord of Calling. I think we're going to cut a Grist as well. We want to get some early blockers down. They're not pressuring our mana dorks, so we're going to cut some Wall of Roots. Life gain from Ooze could be relevant. I think we'll shave an Endurance. And what else? Maybe another Chord. I think it's either a bird or a Chord. I think we'll shave a bird. So we shaved a couple mana dorks, a Grist, a Chord, and something else. Alright, game 2. See how this goes. Pulling up my sideboard guide. I don't think I have that matchup in the guide. There it is. Alright, so this opener is very good. Once again, we have Besage You as an insurance policy. We have Force of Vigor, which is really strong, so we are going to keep it. Our opponent keeps their 7. Let's see how this goes. Generally, my experience has been, well, I'm really close here. Is that better? My experience has been that as long as we have a piece of sideboard, one of our sideboard hate pieces in our opening hand, we generally win the matchup. So we'll see if that holds true. A little short on mana here, so we might actually have to play out the Besage You, which is unfortunate, but I think it's fine. Okay, let's see how their turn plays out. I'm assuming I'm probably going to pop off the Force of Vigor. Depending on what they play, I might hit the Saga, I might hit the Hardened Scales. Okay, I might hit both Hardened Scales. Alright, so we're going to Force a Vigor both of their Hardened Scales, and I think we get rid of Ooze. I think that's the worst card in our hand. So they have themselves a 1/1 Zabaz. I think we're pretty far ahead here. Land? Gotta land. Alright, we're in business. So we're going to build out our mana a little bit more. And then we are going to, next turn, I think we'll play out our Geist. It depends. It's hard to say right now. Alright, so they have a Drum, so they can activate their Saga. Which isn't that big of a deal. Having Besage You here, especially if we draw another land, is a really good insurance policy. There's Chord of Calling. I think that's pretty good. Alright, we're going to play Geist, and then we can Chord for 1. Which will get us a Yawgmoth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we'll be able to get a Yawgmoth, and then from there we can get a Yawgmoth. So we got some big guys on the board. A little scary. I imagine they're probably getting a Pithing Needle here. I think that would be the right call. There it is. As suspected. And I imagine our namesake, yes. Okay, Relic is fine. It's a little annoying, but not that big a deal. Alright, so we're going to take a hit. We are on a clock here. Best draw is probably Crime Punishment. Okay, Yawgmoth. Or land. Land would be good too. Evolution is fine. I think we're okay with that. See what they do here. I imagine they're probably popping the relic, which is fine. Get ourselves a Yawgmoth. And now I think we'll minus, how does this Zabaz work? Gains flying, has modular. Okay, so I can't actually activate this right now, so we'll just pass. Because of the Pithing Needle. Alright, there's a Saga. So, unless they play some, or have some shenanigans, we should be able to block one of the construct tokens with... Alright, I think that changes things a little bit. Alright, so Zabaz, I think we want to get rid of the Zabaz right now. So we're going to channel Beseiju. Get themselves a land. And then I think we get rid of the Zabaz before the Hardened Scales hits the battlefield. So unfortunately, they're going to get to activate it, and we're not going to draw a card. We'll see what they do. But I think that's the right play here, so they don't get more value. Well, I guess they have the Ozolith as well. Yeah, that might have been wrong. Yeah, that was probably wrong. Alright. Live and you learn. So I'm going to put 2 counters there. We're going to be chump blocking here, I think. Once again, we need to preserve our life total. And the hope is we can combo next turn. Like if we draw a Yawgmoth, I think we're in pretty good shape to do that. Liberator's fine. We'll -1. I think Yawgmoth, that's their best draw there. Alright, so we have the kill here. Unfortunate for our opponent. Yeah, this deck is just so busted. Alright, so here's the line. We're playing out a Yawgmoth. We're going to evoke Endurance into play, which gives us the mana to get ourselves our good friend, Blood Artist. And I think they're going to see the writing on the wall, and I imagine we will see a scoop. So we could have also gotten Hapatra there. I mean, obviously we wouldn't, but Hapatra would just mow down their whole board. Alright. targets. Always yield. Alright, so I've explained this in past videos. This is the infinite combo with Yawgmoth. It's not really infinite because eventually you'll draw all the cards in your deck. But it's pretty close to it. Usually, if your opponent is anywhere in the vicinity of 100 life or less, you win the game. So, Yawgmoth, you'll sacrifice one of your Undying creatures without a 1/1 counter on it to target the Undying creature with the 1/1 counter. Undying triggers, Blood Artist triggers. They'll lose life, you'll gain a life. You'll bring your other Undying creature back into the battlefield, and the one that previously had a counter will lose the counter. Writing's on the wall, they see it, they scoop them up, and we 2-0 what is a very favorable matchup. So 4-0 in the league now. Win percentage with this deck is off the charts. It is, in my opinion, once again, the best deck in the format. People don't see it as of yet, but I think it is. I really do. Yeah, artifact decks, this deck seems to be super favored against. Just having access to Force of Vigor in the sideboard and Crime Punishment wreaks havoc, or wreaks havoc? Whatever it is. Saga decks do not do well against that package, and that is evidenced by our 2-0 victory here. If you haven't done so already, check out in the description below, there's a sideboard guide for this deck. There's also a condensed sideboard guide that you can fit into your deck box. The expanded guide gives you matchup tips and tricks. It's early on a Saturday. I'm struggling here, but hopefully you're still with me. Tips and tricks for each matchup, so you can access that. I also have a stat sheet in the description below where you can see my deck lists, see how well they're performing, see the matchup percentages as well. So access that. Lastly, if you have not done so already, hit the subscribe button. I don't know why you haven't done it yet. Hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about this match. Any lines you would have taken differently. Yeah, I'd appreciate the feedback. So please do so. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you for the next episode of Dr. Yawg's Clinic. Be well.